Yo, what is on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full review on this digital gauge cluster for your BMW E90, E92, or any other model. This digital gauge cluster completely transforms your interior and replaces your boring old analog gauges with a brand new massive screen. And this digital gauge cluster took literally minutes to install. It was out with the old, in with the new. The odometer picked up immediately, no coding or programming required. So installation, I'll say 10 out of 10, no issues there whatsoever. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is fire up the digital dashboard, and I'm gonna show you guys all the different themes, settings, and really just everything software related. So go ahead and grab some popcorn or something, because this is gonna be a thorough rundown on all the different settings and options. That way you know exactly what you're paying for. And so I've had this digital dash in my car for about 1 to 2 months now. And so now I've actually had ample time to really give an unbiased review of it. So the first thing we're going to do is get the key and pop it into the ignition. And that's going to greet us with this boot logo that you're just seeing right here. But the first thing I want to say about this digital dash, it is absolutely beautiful. I've gotten so many compliments on it. I mean, really imagine if you're a passenger in the car and you look over and see this thing. It looks absolutely wicked. I love, love, love it. So now the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and address is a lot of people brought up the issue of glare on the screen, and I'm gonna say in person, it's really not that bad, guys. I know on the camera it looks extremely blue and glary, but in person, it really is not that bad. Your eyes filter out a lot of this light. It sounds crazy, but I promise you in person it is not as bad as it looks on camera. There's already like a matte finish, like anti-glare built into it. But overall, it's not the worst, but yes, it does glare. Obviously it's going to, it's a huge screen in the middle of your car. So not really a huge detractor, just something to point out. But yeah, guys, this entire digital dash is all going to be dictated by the BC button right here and the little controls. So we can see if I click BC, it's going to go through the menus and etc. And I know that's a huge 7 series in the middle, but that can be updated. So we're going to use the BC button. I have all my temperatures and everything right here in the middle. So we have coolant temp, oil temp, distance until your gas tank's empty, voltage, and then we have our fuel economy here at the top. And that is extremely handy to have right in front of you, especially because the old gauges only have the oil temp, they don't have the coolant temp. So having it in digital format and the battery voltage right in front of you is a game changer. I love that, especially for all you guys out there who are modded. I mean, 335 owners, etc. I don't know, you may have different tunes and things like that, and it's cool being able to have all of your temperatures right here in front of you. And now I'll show you guys all the themes, which is going to be how the gauges actually look. I love this comfort one. Basically, it's like a big loading bar on the miles per hour. We have technology. I mean, it looks cool, but it looks like something out of Transformers, so I'm not a huge fan. We have track. It looks a lot like the new G series M4. Love the way that that looks. And then we have simple. In order, I'd probably say I like comfort first, and then I'd say I like the simple, and then I'd say track, and last but not least, technology. And don't mind all these little airs and things you see. One of my halos is out, my parking brake is on, my seatbelt's off. Like, these all have a reason. And you can see that right there. That is how the airs are gonna look. So if you have a low tire pressure or the sensor's out, or if you have like little errors come up, that's how it's gonna look like. But I'm just showing you guys right now how the different themes look. So if I go to technology, same way, we'll do simple. I love the way that looks, that little glow. And now the last one will be the track. And this one's cool because the RPMs are gonna be on both sides, the miles per hour is in the middle. So you're gonna see it rev up on both sides. I think that's pretty sick. But yeah, I mean, it looks great, guys. So those are the 4 different themes and how those look. So now I'm gonna walk you guys through all the other settings. That's just date and time. So obviously, you know, we can set the year, the exact date, things like that. That's kind of common. Nothing crazy there. Language, there are a lot of languages to pick from. Obviously, I can't read most of these. All I see is English. But these are all the different languages that this thing can translate into. And then scrolling down again, right here, generic. So this is where you can adjust the brightness of this thing in the day and night. So let's say we go ahead and flip our headlight switch, what it's gonna do is it's gonna automatically dim the screen. And that is obviously because at nighttime, you don't want this thing to be shining at 100% brightness. And it took me time, but at first, guys, it is gonna be distracting. It's a huge screen right in front of you. It looks so nice. You're gonna wanna keep looking at it. So I definitely would recommend nighttime brightness to be somewhere from 10 to 20 to 30%. Really nothing higher than that, because at night, this thing will shine. It's a huge screen right in front of you. As we actuate the switch, we're gonna see it dims down, and then we're gonna go ahead, turn it back the other way. You can see it brightens right back up. And now scrolling down again, this is where you can pick the color of not the gauges, but the color of the little car. So I don't know if you remember the little 7 Series logo that it showed in the middle. So let's say your BMW's red. If we go back, you can see that the little middle car changed to red. And you can update the gauges to show like the proper vehicle. All it takes is a simple software update, takes a few minutes. I just haven't gotten around to it. From here, this is where we could change the actual color of the gauges themselves. So we can see Sport Plus here is red. And if I use the BC button by pressing and holding, I can change this thing to Comfort Plus, which is that deep orange color, which I love because that matches the rest of the car's systems extremely well. And then if we hold again, we have Eco Pro, which is blue. And then we have Special, which is purple. But now in my car, I do have ambient lighting. You can't see them right now, but usually I keep the floor lights that dark orange or red color. So it is cool being able to come into the gauges and match it. So if I do like Sport Plus red, then we have the red on the steering wheel, the red stitching, the red push start, and the red floor lights. It all comes together extremely nicely. And now we can go down to factory. And now in the factory is where you enter a code. So 0168 is one of the codes. I'm giving y'all some free game there because that's not something that they just give out freely. Usually you have to buy this gauge cluster. So now hit OK. And now from here, what we can go ahead and do is basically confirm our main tank, sub tank. So vehicle model. I know it says F10 right here. So as long as you have the chassis at E, the fuel is gonna register accurately. You won't have any issues there. Hybrid battery, obviously not that I know of, so keep that off. And now we are not done. There's actually more settings in here we can explore with another code. So we're actually gonna put 0169 as the code, and that is gonna unlock more settings. So now from here, you have tire pressure enabled, adaptive cruise, rear tire exchange, steering angle. These are all ones you wanna keep obviously enabled. This is all stuff you have. Intelligent idling, I have no idea. I messed with it a little bit, didn't really do anything. So now trip unit is where you're gonna change this thing from kilometers per hour to miles per hour, and from kilometer to miles. So you definitely want this to be imperial. At first it said kilometers. I had no idea how to change it. That is how. Then we have 24-hour date format, outside temperature. As you can see down here, we have our temperature displayed on the gauge cluster. Good to go. And then obviously temp unit, you want to make sure it's at Fahrenheit or Celsius accordingly. I'm in the States. If I saw 17 degrees, I would say, holy, it's cold. Doors info is going to show you a little on-screen image once the door opens, just like that. So that is a cool, neat feature. So I would definitely keep that enabled as well. Fuel tank position to the right. As you guys can see, the little arrow right here is gonna remind you, hey, my fuel's on the right side if you ever forget. There is a reversing sound. I've personally never heard it chime, but apparently it is an option. I just keep it disabled anyways. Sweet, and so now from here, we can go to upgrade. This car is gonna come with like a USB cable, and the USB cable plugs into the back of the gauge cluster. All you need is a little thumb drive, and that thumb drive plugs right in and is hassle-free. The gauge cluster actually does all of the updating for you. And so to update the vehicle, this is the code that you're gonna punch in. Again, I'm giving y'all a free game, 4321. All you're gonna do is go over to the little OK button, bam. And then from here, this is actually where you're gonna select the model that you have. So from here, you can actually update. I already updated the car once. You're gonna find E90 on here. So you're gonna see E60, 3 Series, 1 Series, X5. And when you update the software, what that's gonna enable you to do is have access to your cruise control. So right out of the box, this thing will not support cruise control. If you go down to use your cruise control, it's gonna tell you it's disabled, that it won't work, but that can be remedied just with a software update. I'll have a link for that down below. All you do is go into the settings and click E90 on the update tab. And now probably the biggest disadvantage I'd say that this unit has is that you can't check your oil level. So originally you could use the BC button and navigate to check your oil, but sadly there's no way to do that. I've looked all through the settings. There is an oil light that will come on if you're low on oil, but you do have to keep up with it. So if you're somebody who's leaking or burning oil, I definitely make sure to calculate your usage rate per oil change, because there's no way to use the BC to actually check the oil. That is one of the biggest downfalls. Just is what it is. You can't have it all. But yeah, guys, from here, all the other software works. So all of our little lights and beacons, like if I flash my brights, the little symbol's gonna come on. Everything else works. I like how this little M logo looks. All in all, I'd say the software looks absolutely great. There are some fonts and some misspellings. So like if I go to the settings here, I don't know what information is, but I do know what information is right here. So information there, information there, so a little typo. So we can see the trip right here. So if we go ahead and click that, you can see the odometer and all the trip data since the last time you've reset it. If we go here to information, you can see tire pressure, tire angle, torque distribution, things like that. Obviously it says none because I have an issue with my tire pressure system. But if we go to like torque distribution, I haven't found what this does. I actually should test it out, but from my knowledge, I haven't seen anything. I think it just kind of is a visual, at least on my model. Tire angle, again, on my model, for whatever reason, it's gonna show you the angle of the steering wheel, but as I turn my wheel, you can see it doesn't reflect anything. I think just not on my vehicle or my model, but yeah, I mean, it's there. It's a cool little visual to look at. And now a cool feature you can actually get into here is maintenance information. So if we select the maintenance information, you can see right here, you can actually reset service intervals. So I actually just did an oil change recently and I did forget to reset my interval. So you can actually select this. And now if we go right in here, we can actually reset it, and that's gonna make it good for another 6,000 miles. We can set the interval, obviously. We're doing 3,000, 6,000 is crazy to me. So there's little intervals, so we'll do 3,000, and now the car will remind me, hey, after the next 1,863 miles. You can do the same thing with all the other information. So you can see it's highlighted red. Vehicle inspection, I inspect my own vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and clear that out. And literally all the service stuff that you could do, spark plugs, I do those every other year. And then here you can actually set custom ones, and the custom ones, you can rename them and put exactly what you want it to be. So I could put air filter, I could put fuel filter, I could put whatever I wanted to there. I always keep track of my car, so we're just gonna reset it anyways. The oil temperature has been 100% accurate. I've linked my car with Beamer Link, it reflects the same thing. The temperature here has been accurate. The odometer has been accurate, immediately linked itself as soon as I plugged it into the car. The mileage tracking, the RPMs have been accurate. The gas and the fuel readings have been accurate to my knowledge. Maybe they're off, I don't know, but to my knowledge, they are all good. Like how the M logo looks. From the software portion of things, this thing has been pretty streamlined and no errors or anything like that. I absolutely love the ability to have my voltage and distance and oil temp and water temp all right here in numerical value. But yeah, for a majority, that's everything that you can really do inside the software. It is very convenient already, just looking this good. Being able to change the colors and having these values here is already a thumbs up from me. I already think that that's worlds above the gauge cluster that was in here before. Sweet. So now that I showed you guys all the different software features and the themes from a standstill, what we're gonna go ahead and do now is take the car out on a drive, and I wanna show you how the digital gauge cluster actually looks when the car's in motion. That way you guys can kind of get an idea how it would look like in your vehicle. Now, I can't promise that it'll be stable footage, but let's go ahead and show you guys how all the different themes look while I'm driving. All right, so the first one I'm starting off with is the comfort theme. So let's go ahead and show you guys how this looks. Try not to crash the entire car. So now we're in technology mode, and technology actually looks kind of cool. I'm trying to go slow so you guys can actually see it. But if I go faster. So now this is the track theme, guys. I think it looks pretty sick. It looks like the new M4s, and I love the way that the two outsides are the loading bars. And the track theme actually used to be my favorite one, but not anymore. I think the comfort beat it out for me now. So now I'll show you guys the simple theme, which I also really love. It's probably my second favorite one. And yeah, we are now back home. Sweet, so we just got back home. Go ahead and turn that off. And yeah, that was all the different gauge styles and themes that come with it. Ran through simple, comfort, technology, and the track theme. I ran it in the red color, but you can always change the color up. And one more cool little neat feature to note is the turn signal. If you activate it, it's a completely different chime. Not a huge feature, not a huge deal. It's like softer now, and I don't know, I just like it. I think it's pleasing. There's no lag or delay on the miles per hour or the RPMs. I've never had an issue with that. The fuel reads accurately, oil temps read accurately, all my temperatures read accurately. After months of using this digital dashboard, I can 100% say that it is a centerpiece in the interior. It is worth every single cent. Yes, you have a couple typos, but they're hidden in the settings that you don't even use. There's a few little font hiccups, but even then, again, in the settings you don't use. Overall, to get a fully digital dashboard that's plug and play, reads the odometer immediately and accurately, does not throw a tamper dot, you can fully customize the exact aesthetic that you want, change the color, the style, look at all your temperatures, coolant temp, oil temps, battery voltage, all the things that enthusiasts love right there in front of you. It is absolutely a no-brainer. This is definitely one of the products that I would say is a staple for all BMW owners. It upgrades the whole interior to look generations newer. This digital dashboard is 2 thumbs up for me. Link down below where you can get yours. Smash a thumbs up. Let me know what y'all think of this thing. Comment down below if you want to know anything else about this digital gauge cluster that I did not address in the video. And as always, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in another video. Peace out.